There are 8 personal guru principles. The first principle is uniqueness and authenticity. Now, authenticity is a word that's been so overused that it's really starting to lose its juice, but I like it anyway because it expresses a particular idea. Like snowflakes, every human being is unique. But in order to express that uniqueness, we need to be true to ourselves, true to our authentic nature, and that's where authenticity comes in. When we say that an antique or a work of art is authentic, we mean that it's the real deal and not an imitation or a copy. Frankly, we mean exactly the same thing when we're talking about a person. The world we live in is so filled with judgment, criticism, and aggression that sometimes it's easier to hide our true nature under a socially acceptable cookie-cutter personality so that we don't get hurt. The problem with living that way is that we live in frustration and sadness because we can't possibly fulfill our life's purpose if we're spending all our energy trying to be accepted and to fit in. The only way to let our true nature shine, or the only way to fulfill our destiny, is to let our true nature shine. Do you consider yourself a creative being? By nature, we all are. But we can only be creative when we create from the truest part of ourselves. Otherwise, it's imitation and sham. I became an ordained minister at the Cathedral of St. John the Divine in 1996. For my ordination, I had to get up in front of the entire seminary of more than 100 people and tell my personal story. At the time, I was working hard on myself through psychotherapy, meditation, and self-help programs, but my life was filled with shame. My life's journey was unusual, to say the least, and it was difficult to get up and share that in front of a room full of strangers. The day I was to deliver my speech, I was fortunate to have been able to listen to a number of other people before it was my turn. And what I discovered was that the most interesting speakers were not necessarily the most together people. They were the people who were the most willing to make themselves transparent to the audience. In some cases, this even included sharing shameful detail about their lives. I realized that the more open someone was in their sharing and the more willing to be vulnerable, the more fascinating they were and the more the audience loved them. When it came my time to get to talk, I set aside any attempt to hide and instead simply told my story. The result was that at the break, many people came up to tell me how much they appreciated my words. That's because the words I spoke were personal and true. I was expressing my unique story from the most authentic part of myself, and the result was pure magic.